I don't know if you've been doing a whiffle in these sessions, but what do you feel? What do you feel like expressing, um, Leslie? Louise, sorry,
That's all
talking to someone
right.
who's not here. We haven't got Leslie here. Louise.
What do I feel like expressing? I feel happy and quite pleased that I'm getting clearer on my strategies. Um, and I'm pleased with that because I could actually go on to what I'm not happy with. So, but I want to kind of focus on what I am happy with. The frustration has come from I've been working on this most probably for far too long. And I think I was working on too many things. So I feel that I'm happy that I seem to have a container for strategy that includes KPIs, which I hadn't kind of really thought about. I love marketing and sales, but because this is kind of a new aspect of how I'm working and pulling together lots of different things that I've worked on, I'm quite pleased with the clarity that's come from the work that I've been doing around vision, mission, and goal setting.
Great. And when you say working too long, is that for too long a sense of time
Yeah, yeah,
overall?
yeah.
Okay, so you're glad you've
It's
got to some of that clarity now.
yeah. I think what's happened is where I pivoted, I was holding on to old stuff, so I was still trying to do some old stuff, coming up with 20 million ideas for some new stuff, not blending them all very well at all, and then just keep going over the same old rather than going right. What are you doing? What are you working on? Who is your ideal customer? Who is your ideal client? Who is your ideal guest? So it's just it kept like it was like a Groundhog Day. It
Okay.
kept going
Yeah,
over the
I know what
same
you mean. Yeah.
question and not
Heard that before.
not getting anywhere. Whereas now I feel that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Excellent. And hopefully, in line with strategy, I mean, strategy, I just call it, it's just choice. Yeah.
Mm.
Now, there may be, if you haven't already done it, take the discipline of choosing what not to do.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like for some people, when it takes them too long, it's just because they've got too much to do and they haven't got enough focus.
That's
So
what it.
Yeah.
strategy is choice. So choose what not to do as well as what to do.
Excellent. I like that. Thank you.
That helps. Is Sarah?
Yeah.
Sarah, are you with us? I can't see you.
Yes. Hi James. I am with you. Sorry, we've had a bit of connection
You're
issues
here.
this
It's great,
morning.
great,
Yeah,
great
so
to hear. If
I
we can
am
fix
here,
the
but
camera, that would be lovely. If not, I'm
yeah,
just going to
so
listen to you.
yeah, so it's just because obviously just because of some of the network connection that's not quite strong right now. So that was the reason why the camera is currently not on. It's taking a moment to get things together. So if you can just
Press the
bear
wrong
with
button.
me for today's session, if that's okay with you. Just because I really wanted to join today's session and not allow those network issues to get in the way.
That's great. You're here. That's the
Yeah.
important. You're here, and we can hear you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
What do you
yeah.
feel like expressing, Sarah?
Yes. Well, it just kind of really resonated with what Louise was saying. I think it's just really great, Louise, how much you've kind of gained that clarity and I think I've been on a similar path as well, just in terms of refining refining the vision and the strategy to implement moving forward and being very clear about that. And as you did mention, I think the discipline has been very important to that,
Yeah.
just in terms of really honing in on the idea that less is more, um, and taking on a more focused approach, and I feel like as time has gone on and just kind of focusing on that strategy and um, while I've been progressing forward with training, with business learning, um, and networking, making contacts, and exploring different opportunities. I think, I have achieved a great level of clarity and very, very much excited to get into some implementation and testing things out. Yeah.
Excellent. Good. And have you guys had some? Have you ladies? I shouldn't use the word guys. Not really appropriate, is it? Have you had any little wins over the last week? You want to share?
Yeah, I think mine has been that I took some time to review the previous 6 weeks because I didn't want to go into the next half without kind of reviewing and consolidating where I'd come. And so it was quite nice to have like a little tick list of things that I feel like I had achieved, but also it highlighted the actions or the gaps that I haven't taken. And a couple that I've made notes is to go back and watch a couple of the modules in some of the weeks to get not clarity, but to understand more some of the things that were introduced to us, sort of like the skills matrix. And there was another one that I kind of felt quite unclear about. So I felt like I didn't want to just wash over it. I wanted to go back to see what the relevance was to me and to the business. And then joking aside, I've always been about the time management, even though I didn't know the time of the day. I have been, I'm quite good at setting alarms and times and kind of being focused with time. But what I haven't always been is disciplined and consistent with what I put in those packages of time. So that's where I think that we're having the clarity of where my vision and my goals are. I've been able to work on, and I've realised that I've got like 3 key parts of my day that I can really focus on work. And then I found another hour during the evening that can either be put for either family time, it can be for personal development, or it could be for an urgent project. And I've kind of always adopted the approach that 15 minutes of something every day gives you a few hours a week that you would never have had. So I've always had that mentality, but I think I've always then picked and chosen what I want to do in that 15 minutes rather than what is a priority. So I've had a good,
we're all human.
I've had a good chat with myself, and so I'm on a warning at the minute, and I'm set to do as we're told.
Okay.
That's really great.
Thanks, Sarah.
How about you, Sarah?
Yes, so I guess really like that, Louise. I think that was really great and very positive. And yeah, I guess for me it's I feel like I've kind of, been able to get more done as well, and get more of the important tasks done. So that has been a great win in terms of just time management, and just I guess in terms of gaining more perspective, and a greater sense of clarity and direction. I think that's been a great win, not just
Excellent.
because of everything that, not just because of obviously the fact of obviously just gaining more clarity, but what it allows me to be able to do in other areas, and how I'm able to kind of seize the moment, using everything, all the tools that the course has been equipping me with, and again with Louise, I've just similar to what she said, going over previous things and really being more intentional about that, those steps. Yeah, so that, because I think for me, it's not really about just kind of going through all the content, but really trying to find ways to apply as I'm learning. So that's been really positive.
I can't agree more. Yeah, and the more questions that you create for us and yourselves, the more you'll get from it.
Yeah,
really good attitude, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you, James. So those are my wins.
This is probably obvious, but there's a massive connection between the vision and clarity that it sounds like you've both really improved upon, and time management, which to some extent, weirdly, doesn't exist, does it? If you can't manage time, you can do what you can monitor time, do things at certain times, but you're managing yourself and other people. That's the reality. And sometimes you've got to behave like a kind of teacher to yourself, haven't you? A bit to what you were saying, Louise. But the more your time is a valuable resource that you use to get towards your vision and the clarity and what you want to achieve, in the sense that where there's a will, there's a way, then the less teacher you'll need to be about yourself and telling yourself, because nobody likes that, even if we're doing it for the right reasons for ourselves. And the more will and motivation will be naturally there, because you are doing the things that you either like doing, or you've accepted they need to be done to get you somewhere else, to get you something that you want, that's your vision. So use that. I know this whole section is kind of been on marketing, targeting, value proposition, and your unique value proposition, sometimes called unique selling proposition. But it sounds like you've both done a bit of a review anyway. So look, you two are here. It's your time. What would you like to get out of the session? What are your questions or desires? I'll focus wherever helps you most right now.
Oh, thank you. Sarah, what's your thoughts?
Can I get a moment to think about this, Louise? If you want to take the stage for a second.
I just didn't want to kind of take, because I have got something. I kind of listed what I thought was the unique selling proposition. So what would be quite helpful is to go through how I interpreted it and to see whether it is a unique selling proposition, or I've just gone off on a tangent.
Okay. Would that work for you, Sarah? Because we can, whilst we can lead it through Louise, you may have similar thoughts and checks.
Yes, that would be perfectly fine.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely fine. So let's focus on unique selling proposition.
Well, what I've got for, basically, we've set up a company that is to offer experiences, retreats, well-being and glamping experiences, and it's 3 luxury safari tents set in 12 acres. So that's the actual thing in a nutshell. So I feel like the unique selling proposition is our experience. I've had experience personally in the travel industry, and also in some hospitality. So having that combined experience, the location, where it is in Dorset, where it's located in Dorset, as in countryside, coastline. It's set in the countryside itself. It's set in 12 acres, so you've got that connection with nature. The accommodation, as I said, is luxury accommodation. It's canvas, so you've got that kind of camping outdoors feel, but it's actually going to have like proper beds and a kitchen and outdoor dining experiences. But the other thing that I've added in is my experience in complementary therapies over the last 20 years is like the well-being retreat aspect of it. And the other thing that I added is what people don't particularly like about our industry or the industry. And this is quite new to me. So I'm combining travel and my well-being stuff. So although I've got experience in certain areas, actually in this industry, it's new. But what I was thinking, and again, I'm thinking, so I've not done the research to back this up, but what I believe at this stage is that what people may not like is that they go to noisy, overcrowded sites, whether they're camping sites, glamping sites. Sometimes they are unkept, they're unclean, and they haven't got necessarily the facilities that they're looking for. And also I'm thinking about niching down to adults only rather than children. So then the actual proposition will be that couples, single people can come at any time of the year, including the summer, and know that they're going to be, I feel really bad because I have got a family which I love completely, but I feel that there is a market for, you know, adults only, without the noise. It's to come and relax and just be, and that's it.
really good. I love the fact that you're looking at what people don't like. It's a really good thing to do.
Thank you.
To help you draw out what's different, better about you. So I guess the first thing to say, because this whole section is kind of, you know, target market and then into your value. Yeah. So different people value different things, which is why you have to start with your target market, because once you've started with your markets, it's okay to have a couple. You may need to, and the reason to have a defined target market, a persona, whatever you want to call it, is for two reasons. Those people value stuff that other people don't, and so you can talk to them directly. So imagine your marketing is talking to that person you've envisaged, whoever it might be, 35-year-old female into wellness who wants a break from kids and wants quiet, and your wonderful combination of wellness in a natural setting in Dorset. It's that combination. And interestingly, sometimes you can plot this on a graph, because you can get this wrong. So if you imagine a graph where one axis is value, and it's not what you value. I've got Sally, I think. It's not what you value, it is what they value. So why they would invest their cash with you to buy whatever you are offering, or the experience that you are offering. So that's the value side. And along the bottom, if you like, then you have got your difference, your level of uniqueness. And let me give you an example. So you can get it wrong just by being unique. So I could launch a range of pink computers, and they're really unique because nobody sells pink computers. But does anyone want pink computers? Or maybe one person does, but not many. So you're really different, but not valuable to anyone. You could be really valuable. So think about what the people value. This is the real clue for you here. Think about what the people value, and then almost go up a level in your thinking. So what I mean by that is really tap into the kind of emotion of it, because you're probably not selling glamping. Whilst it's part of your proposition, that's not what they're buying. They might be buying, I don't know, if I had to make it up from what I've already heard, they are buying a British wellness experience in a very natural way.
Excellent, thank you.
And that there are a few words, but you've gone up a level, because you could then think what they value, and stuff like if you know what they value. So if quiet is a value that's important, which it probably is for some of the wellness stuff, just as well as the practicality of camping, then you embellish that, because you're talking about it's a tranquil environment that you create that allows you to do the wellness things. I don't even know what they are, but I'm already getting a picture.
Thank you.
That's brilliant. And you can't do, I don't know, you can't do what wellness things do you do while you're there?
Well, you can do as much as little as you want. So you could actually create your own, where you can come stargaze, watch the sun. We're lucky we got the sunrise and the sunset. You can do al fresco cooking, that kind of thing. But if you wanted then to enhance your stay, you could have yoga, meditation, therapies, journaling sessions, that type of thing.
And the other thing to think about is what they can't get from anywhere else. And often it's very difficult to come up with something really unique.
Yeah.
You know, because of course you can go and do wellness somewhere, you can go and glamp somewhere else, but it's the combination of stuff that you offer.
Yeah.
So it's like you might be targeting people who don't really know how to do all this stuff.
Yeah.
So you can come here and it's all laid on for you. It's all da 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 da. Yeah. So think not only of a single thing, because we're not at this point. You're not writing a strap line at this point. You're getting a list of all of the things that are valuable. Because if you can talk about all of the things that are valuable to people,
brilliant,
then that's what you'd communicate to them.
That's so helpful. And I'll tell you what I really appreciated, James, is when you picked up on it's not glamping, because I have an issue with the word glamping. So I'm glad you said that, because I'm trying to draw away from that. But because it is a popular word within my industry now, I'm trying to find ways around it without excluding myself. So I liked that. My strap line that I've been playing with over when I say a long time, I'm talking years, is create time and space for you. And I want to then pull everything together. So what I believe is creating time and space for you, Karen, Sally, Sarah, we've all got different interpretations. So like what you were saying is offering a combination. So I want that strap line to be generic and creating time and space for you, but then I want to then add things like 4 retreats for, say, writers, for wellness, for singles, for couples. So it can then be added on in layers to wherever, after the research and everything, is where is my market, what am I meant to be focusing on? So I don't know what your thoughts are around that.
About the strap line, or or what's the
question? Around the create your time and space. Is it too generic? Is it a bit woolly?
My gut reaction is just my opinion. You could ask others' opinions as well. Is that I like it, but it probably could go deeper emotionally.
Okay.
Particularly if you're thinking of the experience,
right?
Because you're a retreat here, which is far. You could create time and space for yourself at home in 10 minutes by listening to a mindness video, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yours is deeper and better and more exciting than that on a number of different levels.
Brilliant.
And that's not coming through yet.
Super. Thank you.
No problem. Hello, Sally.
Hello, so sorry I'm late. I got tied up on an issue that I needed to deal with. So I was just catching on. And I think, if I was just hearing that correctly, we're just exploring with Louise really how you establish and identify that USP and that value proposition in terms of pulling the words and the sort of the meaning together, and how you explore that from a communication perspective.
Just be really based in mind. It's like if you've got a list of 4 or 5 things that people value, don't worry too much about strap lines at this point in time. Research doesn't need to be complicated. You could phone 5 friends or 5 people that have tried you before, or 5 people that inquired, and just talk to them about the list. I've got a list of 5 things that, I think, can you just go through what's important and what interesting? You'd have research in 25 minutes.
I think what I was finding challenging in thinking about that, and I wrote things down, is that I don't have a product. I don't per se something tangible in your hands, because I do consulting. And I think where I was personally, in terms of what I'm providing, it's the USP is that ability to understand your business, the culture that you're trying to develop, and therefore create solutions within that. And it's the fact that I can do that face-to-face or remotely with you. And so they were the things that I was trying to, how do you sell what you perceive to be unique in a consulting environment where you're kind of selling yourself?
Okay, well, let's go. I mean, selling yourself is going to be an important part of what you do, but let's go a level higher than that, because it's actually relevant to somebody that's selling a product as well. Because regardless of whether you're selling a product or a service, you are achieving an outcome for them.
Yeah.
Because the biggest shock of marketing is people don't care about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course you'll have loyal customers, of course you'll have loads of people that like you, etc., etc. But if you start with the premise that people don't like you or care about you, then it forces you to talk to them about what's valuable for them.
Yeah.
So it's no different how somebody feels after they've been on a retreat, necessarily. Of course, it is different on one level, to how somebody feels after they've benefited from your services and they've achieved X and Y from them. And that could be, in your case, it could be both practical and emotional.
Yeah.
Because you've got certain results you could clearly talk about achieving, and then there might be more emotional stuff.
Yeah.
How would you feel if you had to go to court and X and Y, and if you don't do all this? Obviously, your mix of how much you want to play on them is up to you. But
yeah,
as you'll know, people are emotional creatures, so it is important to build that into your communication with them.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does, because I think what I think I'd landed on were the words that were more tangible in terms of responsive. You get clear advice, you have that reassurance, and you have a sort of how to apply things. But I think the bit that was missing is that feeling.
Let me give you potentially another exercise that might help. Yeah. So do 2 columns on a bit of paper. Yeah. And the first one is something along the lines of mandatory for a good, what do you call it, have an HR consultant?
Yeah.
Yeah, so mandatory for a good HR consultant. Yeah. And a lot of the stuff you listed will probably sit in that box.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine. Yeah. And then the next column is better or different.
Yeah.
And you can repeat the stuff because otherwise it would be really difficult. Yeah. But you have to tell me why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you've got, we really listen to you and understand your problems, then I expect that from a good HR consultant.
Yeah.
That's not a point of difference.
Yeah.
If you've got a certain way of doing it, or you can be specific about it,
yeah,
then that can become one. And as I think I've already mentioned, often it's a combination.
Yeah.
Because a USP for HR consultant, it's a really difficult task. Yeah. So half of it will be about picking things you expect and how you do differently.
Yeah.
And remember that, and you may have missed it, that the target market comes first.
Yeah.
So the things that are really different relate to the stuff that the people that you're targeting want. Because different people want different things. So you're just, you know, messing with you're upping what's important to the people that you're targeting.
Yeah.
So you're talking their language, I don't know, extreme example, if you were targeting just women, for example, then you could use language that express that and shared frustrations with men in the workplace.
Yeah.
Would be quite a PC area. You'd need to be quite careful around how you express that.
But I myself in court. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, that's all right. You can get advice from yourself.
Yeah.
On that one.
Don't do it.
So that may help. So there's an element of what makes you different.
Yeah.
And there probably is an overlay of they're buying you as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. That's just that context really helps.
Okay. Sarah I'm okay for a bit more extra time if you need it. So
no, that won't be necessary. I think that what you've actually the advice given to both Louise and Sally has been very much very applicable to what I was going to actually bring up as well. So I think that was really helpful, and I think that does really give a great deal of context, especially for me. I think for where I'm tapping into, relating to what was discussed, is the idea of catering to people in terms of affordable housing, and doing my research in that, well, as an architectural firm, doing my research in that capacity of catering to people who are in need as well, and thinking about those questions, which I've been meeting with different housing associations to help refine that, in terms of the questions I need to ask myself, as well as, you know, how that feeds into the designing process. So yeah, you know, but I think definitely what you have mentioned has given me enough to think about, and just to kind of refine those ideas, and further meet the needs of the target market. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Excellent. So hopefully you're not just being polite. It sounds like you're someone that likes to reflect and think about stuff, which is great. So
Yeah.
don't let that hesitate you in throwing communications into the community as you go along, as these hit you. Some people don't like to be put on the spot. That's fine. Is there anything else that you would like to cover, or your ask, Louise, Sally?
No, I just want to say thank you for the tip on research doesn't have to be complicated. Otherwise I would have gone off for about another year and decided to do market research, and turn it into a market research company rather than a wellbeing retreat experience company. So that was super helpful. Thank you.
It can evolve as well, you know, because you know, particularly in, you know, I imagine a lot of your communications will be either verbal to people or online. Those things are really easy to change. And of course we want to establish a brand and have everything perfect. I get it. That's good, sensible advice as well. But if you've got the ethos there, and you start living what makes you different, then actually that's so much more important, and might actually drive a number of other ideas for your business. Yeah, no, thank you. It could be all kinds of stuff. The other tip I'd give you is to think about, because I guess you're getting, you know, there's a blend of holidayness and well-being. Yeah. But the question might be, what could happen before or after? Yeah. Doesn't have to start when they arrive in Dorset. No. Doesn't have to finish, particularly if they've learnt stuff whilst they're there. Well, because there's a couple going on to that, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, because I appreciate everyone what we've done so far. But one of my things for the retreats is to have a program beforehand, and then something people can step into if they want to continue afterwards. Hadn't really thought about it for what I would say is couple guests. But there's nothing really stopping that for somebody who's learned something about journaling or done something about meditation, and they want to take that forward, even if it was a checklist for them to take away with them, to say, yeah, I'm going to do this on a regular basis, and you know how it's like a basket of stuff that they can tap into when they need that pause or that moment to be mindful or relax or whatever. So no, I appreciate you saying that. Loads of ideas. So just for you, from what you said right at the beginning. So you've got loads of ideas. So your vision can create loads of other stuff. Yeah. So with the vision in mind, just pick the first thing that you need to deliver on to deliver that, and just car park those ideas for now. Yeah. Do that, knowing them, but write them down somewhere. In a car park, I call it a car park, but it can be an Excel spreadsheet or a picture on the wall or whatever you like, so you don't lose them. They're great and important, but they can't distract you from the action now. Great advice, thank you. Sally, do you have any more questions you'd like to cover off?
No, I don't think so. I think that exercise of what's the mandatory versus why, and the better, I think, is an exercise I need to go and reflect on, because that's the hard question that I need to really dig into. And I think in terms of research, I'm aware of my competitors, I'm aware of what they do, but I think it's being able to articulate that in relation to the personas as well. And I've kind of, I suppose, been stuck on the persona thing, and I've kind of like, because I'm stuck on it, I park it. But I think now it's understanding that actually that is a really important step to take to develop the personas. And then I think that will help me in this journey of understanding what my true value proposition is.
Even because again, I don't want you getting too stuck. Even if you can get to say, look, this might be a typical customer.
Yeah.
They need 3 things. If you know 3 things they need, you can start marketing to them.
Yeah.
Because you can market to those needs.
Yeah.
If it's everyone, then it's, you know,
yeah,
you're throwing mud at a wall, aren't you?
Yeah, and I think
it doesn't have to be perfect, the persona, to start the process to get you going to what really stands you out. You can come back and refine that and improve your messaging and talk more specifically, but don't get so stuck on it you don't get to the next stage.
And I think it's interesting. I think through this whole process of these weekly sessions, it's each time it's unblocking something that I kind of like. I don't know how to start the process. Once I start it, it's interesting how I've been able to really focus and deliver on it. So I'm finding these sessions are unblocking a lot of things that I've kind of, in my mind, I think I know I should be doing this, but I don't know where to start. Right. And I think this is the next thing I need to say, okay, get it out, and now just get on and do it and stop procrastinating. I've decided I'm a bit of a procrastinator when I'm like, I can't figure it out.
Okay, well, don't let it stop you. Speak to a member of the group, raise it with the group, say, I've got stuck. Don't let yourself be blocked.
Yeah, you're certainly not on your own, Sally, with the procrastinator. I think I was born procrastinating.
I didn't realise how much I was until this process.
I know, it is. It's the awareness that comes out, and it's like, yeah, I knew I did it, but to what level?
but to be honest with you, you know, and it sounds like, I did post it on the thing, but it's a bit like last week. You know, I was up together with my P&L, up together with my budget, and I hadn't even thought of cash flow. And then just getting the spreadsheet was like, oh my God, just done it. My 3-year plan, it was kind of like, just get it done.
Good, excellent.
So what I'm finding is this really does help focus the action, which is what I really like about this, is so what are you actually going to do as a result of this? And for me, it's saying, get that out the door, just get it done. Because actually, to your point, I think, James, is the not overthinking it, and just it'll evolve. The more you do, the more you know, the more you sort of establish yourself, coming back and revisiting things, you refining. It's not a one and done.
It's fine
one and done.
You know, somebody can say, look, stop procrastinating. It doesn't help you at all, because you know there's a level of perfectionism or other reasons to do it. There's many different reasons and types. The key is to have your own check, versus your, you know, time out self against what I'm trying to achieve here. Does not doing this, or just spending 4 hours more on doing this, help me or not? And then you've got your own reason to make the right decision. Perfect segue. You're obviously learning as a group, because it's like, oh, you need to do some actions from this. So what are the commitments? Now, it helps to write these down. So what I suggest you do is you go into the bronze chat and you write down your commitment of what you want to do the next week, because then it's there. If you've shared it with someone else, you're more likely to do it, and the other members of the team can check in with you as well and say, how have you got on? Have you achieved it? If you want that. So
I'm up for that.
Put it out there publicly, and then say if you want someone to give you a prompt hold you to account within the team, and then I'm sure you can hold each other to account next week.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Keep questions flowing, and keep feedback coming into Karen as well. Good, bad, indifferent. It's all good. You know, we love getting the positive feedback from what you're enjoying and taking for the session, what you're learning, and even little things that could be improved or would make it better for you, just make the whole process better for anyone that comes through it. So yeah, all feedback to Karen is great. So please keep that coming. Lovely. Have the great rest of the week.
Yeah,
Thank you so much,
Karen.
James. Really great, really useful, and very insightful. I think there's enough exercises to focus on within this week.
Great.
Yeah, for the next
Thank
few
you.
weeks.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.